Welcome back to Bjornholm, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, I was forage harvesting. I'm not sure what I'm foraging for, but it must be something. I must have rented this to mow so that I could get some more silage down at the pardon me, the biogas facility. We are driving the New Holland FR850. This is a DLC mod. This is probably, I would imagine, not a super popular mod. I love it. It's a cool device. Gives you something big other than the Krone Big X. You know, a lot of these forage harvesters are little. They're DLCing. Well, there's only one other one. The Realism is a smaller unit at 440 horsepower, so it loses some size on its headers and abilities. This is an 850 horsepower unit, so it's just shy of the Krone. I think the Krone is 800 too. Let's take a look. Look at our harvesters. Yeah, this is the FR850 is 824 horsepower. The Krone is, oh no, 1,000. Okay, it's 1,034. So the Krone has even more horsepower, which is why the corn header is bigger. Krone is still the largest one that I've found in the game. However, you can put larger headers on them. You can cheat. Game doesn't put any restriction on that, but yeah, I'm farming cash, basically. I don't know why. It's been so long since I've been on this farm. I'm not sure exactly what my goal is, but I have other fields that I need to buy. I think I'm saving up for... Did I buy it? No, I did. I did buy 25. Okay. I'll have to take a look up there, because maybe I might have merged those fields together, but maybe not. Maybe that's going to happen after this next harvest. But we'll jump up there in a couple minutes and see what's going on there once I fill these up. But yeah, I've obviously put some rental time on this, so I figured had an afternoon off, I guess. Must be all caught up on the farm work for that to be the case where I'm like, I need something to do. Well, I can always mow for silage. We can always chaff the lawn. And this is faster. You know, the rental mod has made it a little bit easier to cheat. I guess not really cheat, but the fact that I can go out and rent this, you know, the way that I was doing this was, you know, round baling it using the add grass to baler, so it would turn directly to silage. So I would go out, you know, you've seen it. I would mow it, I would row it, and then I would pick it up with the baler and make silage bales, and then just dump them into the bin. And while that does yield instantaneous silage, this is still faster. It requires a lot less running back and forth. Though now I have the follow me mod now too. So that's a pretty cool mod, and allows you to have tractors follow behind you. So it could be a less, maybe two-step process instead of all the going back and forth and back and forth. But you do have to pay workers when you're doing follow me, and they're expensive. They don't give you the regular rate where it's like $1 every 3 seconds. They're like $1 a second. So you got 2 or 3 guys following you, and you're dumping money out like there's no tomorrow. But I do like the follow me mod. It's pretty cool, especially when you're trying to get a bunch of equipment from one location to another. You can now put them in trains and have them follow you to the next location. But like I said, it does cost a decent amount of money to have them working for you. So there is that side of it. I've had the flu for, I think I said this in the Animal Farm video, but I've had the flu for, 6 days. Trying to think of how many days. More, 7. I got it last week on New Year's Eve. My stomach started hurting, and on New Year's Day I was throwing up and diarrheaing all day long, and it was just miserable. Saturday I was wiped out, so I just kind of slept all day, and then same with Sunday. I pretty much just kind of lazed around. Didn't really do much game playing. Definitely not World of Tanks. I played World of Tanks a little bit this week, but Monday and Tuesday I started feeling better, and I was like in the groove, and everything was going well, and I was doing work, and everything was happening, and I think it was, Wednesday my stomach started hurting again. I'm like, what? And then Thursday I had to go to Detroit for work, so I drove to Detroit, Michigan, which is about 3 hours away, and I did my work, and by the time I got there, my stomach was like, oh my gosh, not again. And on the way home, I was diarrheaing the entire way home. I had to stop like every rest stop pretty much between my house and home, or between Detroit and my house. I had to stop at every freaking rest stop and crap my brains out. So today is Saturday. I felt better yesterday. Starting yesterday morning, I started feeling better again, and my stomach still doesn't feel 100%. I'm still gurgling in there, but what are you gonna do? And so I decided I need to get some recordings done. So I did a 1 hour special for Animal Farm that you guys have already seen, but then I've had 2 or 3 people ask me to do Bjornholm again. So we are back on Bjornholm. Feels good to be home. It feels good to be on a map where I can actually drive around and not crash into stuff every 2 inches because it's so tight. And because I'm such a bad driver, it's also nice to have a map where the frame rates are consistently 60 frames a second. Because those mod maps tend to push the resources of the game. The game's just not, Giants didn't do a great job optimizing the graphics, but they did do a decent job optimizing their maps so that you wouldn't notice. That's how I want to put it. It doesn't get stuttery on their maps very often. There aren't very many places that cause the game to slow down. But the modders don't pay attention to that. They just go full bore and put as much detail as they can into the maps, and that makes them get stuttery because the graphics engine just can't handle the truth. So one of the reasons why I like playing on Bjornholm, and I like playing on Sosnovka, and I like playing on, even Westbridge, even though I'm sick of it because I've been there too long. I'll tell you this, there is something about Westbridge that feels like home. I will say that. When I go back to the map again, it makes me want to start a new map there. The only downside with Westbridge, and this is, just me being picky, is that you can't, there's not a lot of, I guess New Holland and Case, if you stuck with those brands, it would be kind of prototypical American, but there's just so many European, even down to the carts. Like these carts, you don't ever see carts like this in America. Our carts are all beat down and ugly and rusty. Everything is John Deere, everything is white, everything is, there we go. I'm gonna dump this stuff out. I'm gonna cover that up. And I'm gonna leave the mower here. Oops, that's the wrong one. Nope, stop. Okay. Crashing already. You do see some New Holland stuff for sure. Hold on a second, folks. Alright, sorry, Evelyn had some things to ask. So, I don't remember what I was talking about. Bjornholm, Westbridge. Oh, so I suppose you could just do all New Holland stuff or Case stuff, which, the harvesters are all New Holland and Case, and that really is how it is around here. Though you do see John Deere harvesters too, but this year, as I've been driving around to different places in the United States, I've seen a lot of Case and New Holland stuff. The smaller farms, no, because they can't afford it, but the larger farms, yes. And the other thing too about the rentals, so I remember we talked about that rental mod and it being cheating. It is not the case. In fact, there's many, many companies in the United States that are set up. One of the ads that pops up on some of my videos sometimes is this company called, I think it's called Magic, and they make lubricants for large farm equipment, so harvesters, foragers, that kind of stuff. And they interview a bunch of different people that use their product, and they're all guys that own harvester rental companies. So it is not unrealistic for you to rent out a harvester. Now, you usually would hire the team. You wouldn't just rent the unit. So most farmers are going to, pay somebody to come and harvest their field. And the guys show up with 3 or 4 harvesters, and, they harvest your field for you. They check the temperature, they check the wheat. Oh, and that was cool, too. In one of the commercials for Magic, it was showing the guys... it was showing the harvest guys, checking the moisture of the field, and they won't. Oh my gosh, Mater's freaking out. They won't harvest unless the moisture is just perfect. So even like on a day, like in the morning when there's a lot of fog and stuff, they won't harvest because it's too wet. So when the sun comes out, and it starts to dry the field up, that's when they start their harvest, because they know that you won't get as much yield. So I thought that was interesting, because it's like, wow, that's that's for real. So the soil mod, I don't know, I'm really leaning more towards it as I go forward. It'll definitely add a layer of depth. I don't know what is going on. Hold on. As John is learning how to talk, it's really cute in some ways, but in other ways it presents its problems, because now he's mad about something. Hold on, let me find out what he's angry about. He's mad because Goosey told him he's pooping his pants. He's wearing a diaper. He did poop all his pants. He's like, I'm not pooping my pants. I'm not pooping my pants. And I'm like, but you did poop all your pants. I'm not. Oh, well, what are you going to do? He's potty training, so he's got the tinkle thing down. It's just the poop thing he has a hard time with. And a lot of kids, I've had 6 of them. They all have had problems with it. For whatever reason, it's a hard thing to get. Don't poop in your pants. I mean, to me, it's like, that seems very uncomfortable, but I don't remember going through it anyway, so. All right, back to mowing. Poopage de pants. So anyway, this is a really cool forage harvester. I mean, there's no getting around it. It's a pretty neat unit. But is it worth $6? I don't know. If it goes on sale, definitely. If you can get it for $3 when Steam does those like half-off sales, that's the time to get it. That's assuming that you have a Steam copy of the game. If you don't, well, you're kind of poop out of luck. But if you do have Steam, then this is a good purchase. Yeah, my wheat is still growing. I think I have it on slow. No, I have not joined the fields yet. That's going to take a long time. Oh my. I've done it before, and I'll probably do it again here. I do have a plow still, so we can take our big honkin' tractor and the dual wheels, the no dual wheels on the road tractor. So I know I swore I wouldn't be doing any more silage, but screw that. You really have to, you know what? The way the game economy is set up is if you want to buy new equipment, you can survive without it. But if you want to get newer equipment and bigger equipment and keep upgrading and expanding and buying lots of land quickly, you really have to have something. So silage and lumber are the 2 ways to get at that without, waiting for months. But it's up to you. It really, how you play the game is how you play the game. I find that, I kind of get bored doing just one thing. So sometimes it's fun to go out and mow, pop on some music, listen to some, if I'm watching television or whatever, I watch a TV show and I just go out and mow. And, a couple hours later, I have hundreds of thousands of dollars for my farm. And, or, if you want a log or whatever, just something, but sometimes I don't want to mow. Sometimes I've been like, man, I've been mowing like every day, and now I feel like going out and just playing around with lumber. So, you go do lumber. And with the rental mod, it makes that all possible. Once again, I'm touting the rental mod. It allows you to have that flexibility where you can rent the equipment instead of having to own it. Now, eventually I will own it, you know, like I probably will end up buying this forage harvester eventually, but in the meantime, I can have access to the ability to make the funds through logging or through mowing, through the you know, chaffing, and I've got the ability to do that. But I also my brain just went blank. It was sounding real technical there for a minute, and then it just bzzz. Oh, you have the ability not only to do this, but you can also do the logging, which is another way to make great money. So, and you can just rent the equipment, and like you would in real life. And honestly, I'll tell you what, here in Cleveland, there's at least 10 major equipment rental companies. So, like, I even have a client that I used to do computer work for. I don't do computer work much anymore, but I used to do computer tech stuff, and they're one of my clients, and I still work for them occasionally when they need it, but they're one of the few that actually get service because I hate doing it. They own a company called Bradley Rentals, and they have a huge facility where they rent out all kinds of stuff, farm equipment. They rent out tractors. They rent out, you know, mostly it's construction stuff. So you got cranes and lift trucks and forklifts and cement mixers, that kind of stuff, and they rent all of that stuff. So it's a pretty neat dump trucks, you know, skid steers, all that stuff they rent out, and the company does pretty well too. But anyway, they're out there, and there are definitely a lot of them. And there's ABC Rental. They rent out all kinds of stuff around here for earth moving and that kind of stuff. We have, you know, all that stuff. So I don't feel bad about having a rental place. You know, like I said, I don't think farming stuff is as popular here in America, like for rentals, but there are places that rent farm equipment, and definitely there are people for hire that you can bring in to run their equipment on your farm. So, like, oh my gosh, I need a really big tractor to do this, you know, deep plowing, but I don't have the money to buy a big tractor, and I don't even have a deep plow, you know. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen those where they really, really dig into the ground. You don't see it too often around here. I know in Europe they do it, but they have those plows where they have, it's just basically 2 tines on the plow. It's not like, it doesn't have all those plow pieces, the blades. There's only 2 of them, and they're really big, and they dig maybe 5 to 6 feet down into the ground. Those kind of things. You can hire somebody to come out and do that. So, you know, I don't have a problem with that. But I'm sure there's some dealerships that will not rent. Can I rent that? No. Because let's face it, you have to pay for the maintenance, you know, and that's expensive. I'm sure a forage harvester, you know, requires quite a bit of maintenance, chewing up all that corn, you know, or grass or whatever you're doing with it. One thing I have not seen in real life, pretty much the only foraging that I've seen personally, and I've watched a lot of videos, is corn. You really don't ever see them running this mower attachment. They can, but I never see video of them doing it aside from product demo videos like, our crone can also, you know, do this or this. They don't really ever, you don't ever see farmers actually out there running this, doing what I'm doing right here. Nor do you see them using the pickup. I don't, you know, once again, demo videos, product demos. I've seen them using the pickup unit, but I don't, what is that called? I don't remember the name of the unit, but it's different on each one, but I think FP is usually in the name. It's it picks up your windrows. You don't see that very often, so, or ever really. I don't think I've ever seen any people actually just doing that. They just do corn. At least the videos that they show is corn. Oops, I'm at 100% and I'm not paying attention. Oh well, it's just grass. It'll grow back. Dang it. Hey, gotta back up just a hair more. Try not to kink my trailers here. Yeah. Oops, I went the wrong way. There, now I've kink the... Good. Press the wrong button again. There we go. I'll make sure these are covered. Love the sound this thing makes. It's like... Big motor. 850 horsepower. That is a... Yeah, I know some sports cars do that, but they're still... They're not torquey like this. This is just... This is like rip your arms off power. Not that a sports car couldn't rip your arms off, but... This is like monster size engine. It's like bigger than your Corvette. Alright, so a couple more loads of this and we'll be done. Though I still have two. I should probably just mow the heck out of the map. I don't want to mow for 2 hours, though. Ugh. I can always return it, I guess. It seems like a waste. So I just dump it, though. I wonder if I still need... I have to check my stock, too. I don't know if I still need to get more hay. Or if I... Because you remember last time we were here. Maybe you don't remember. It's been a while. I had silage. A ton of silage. Then a decent amount of straw. But I was a little short on hay. Hay. So I need to check and see if we still have that later. But we still have 2 hours of this left, so... Alright, so I guess... I'll mow with you a little bit longer and then I'll... Yeah, we'll see. I think for the sake of the episode, I'm not going to just keep mowing. We'll do one more load, and I'll return this thing. It's not like I don't have money. You know, it costs a couple $1,000s to rent it for an hour. I think it's like $2,000 or $3,000 to rent it for an hour. So it's not... I'll lose a couple $1,000s if I return it early, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Thank you, Seth. Bless you. Seth is so freaking cute. His little lily smile. He brought me coffee. That'll keep me going. That'll keep me mowing. What did I do with the header? There it is. Okay. I love the details on this. I like the little vents and stuff like that. They really did a nice job on this harvester. So once again, if you're into DLC, and I don't mind. I really love this game, so I'm willing to just throw money at them. But, because I want them to succeed. I want them to continue to make great products. I hope that they learn something from, and I still haven't. I know I've been promising to take a look at the Farming Expert, and I just haven't. I haven't even played the game for months. I just love the Farming Simulator. I keep coming back. Farming Expert is great, but the game itself, it has great ideas, but the game itself is just lacking. So I just end up coming back to the Farm Simulator, even though the Farm Simulator doesn't have the depth that Farming Expert has. It's got the model. It's got the polish. It's got the... I'm trying to think of the words. I mean, those are the words, but... Farming Expert has some very novel ideas. But in practice, it doesn't do a good job, or in execution, it's poor. But it's still a great game, but it doesn't mean that, you know, it's not worth the $10 I paid for it, or $8 or whatever it was when it was on sale. But maybe we'll take a look at that today, too. I've got some time this afternoon. Oh my gosh, I need a coffee. I haven't had coffee for days because of the flu. Obviously, you know, caffeine is on your stomach, and or cocoa beans are, or something. I don't know. But I haven't been able to drink it. And I love coffee. It's like... it mends my soul. It does. It's so bad for you. I drink 1 cup a day but I like a lot of cream and sugar, so it's like having a milkshake every day. You know, I'm sure it's not good for you. I'm sure it's not as bad as a milkshake, but I'm sure it's not good for me. But I just can't stop. And sometimes in the winter, I have 2 cups a day. Shh. I'll have a cup at night when it's cold and my little legs are cold. And my big fat legs are cold. My big fat arms are cold. Oh, coffee. So we've been playing Space Engineers. I've been trying to figure out how to get it to make a good video, and it's gonna be. I just don't know enough about it yet. And it's funny because this game, I didn't know a lot about it when I played it, but you can at least survive and make mistakes and learn and not have a, oh my gosh, I have to start completely over moment. Whereas Space Engineers, man, if you screw up, it's like, oh, okay. Like I've been making a video for YouTube, hopefully, and we'll see. I'm thinking about releasing it, but we'll see. But in the episode, I land a little bit too high. I shouldn't spoil it. Never mind. Let's just say I break something, and I'm like, I have no idea how to fix it. And the ship still works, but I broke stuff, and I'm like, And then I also found out, in the new version of Space Engineers, they allow you to fly onto planets. It's really cool. Like, there's a whole planetary system, and it's neat stuff, you know. However, the lander that they start you with can't leave the atmosphere. So you have a solar system with like 4 planets and 5 moons and all this stuff with all these minerals that you need floating out there in space, and you can't get to it because you can't leave the planet that you're on. You're stuck. And I was like, what? I can't leave? So you want to fly, but you can't. You can fly around the planet, and it's a huge planet, but I'm just realizing I need to play the game a little bit more so that I'm not like total noob, and then I can start making videos, because people are going to get aggravated with me doing like one series of episodes and then just quitting and having to start over again because I broke something and I can't figure out how to fix it. And there's so much to that game. I didn't realize, like, when I got it, I bought it at Christmas when it was on sale. It was like $14, I think, and it's still early access, but and then, I wanted Mark to play it. He's like, nah, I just can't afford it. And I'm like, ah. So I went online and I found out that you can buy a 4-pack for $40. And I'm like, wow. So I gave it to all my kids. And then, my friend Paul is an engineer, and you guys know Jared. Paul, Jared, he goes by both. He's the guy that, sometimes he'll join me on the farming sim. He does all the calculations where he finds out, like, which fertilizer works better, which, Jared 997. He's a clan mate, and he's a real nice guy. And anyway, I gave it to him because he's an engineer and he loves that stuff. And you know what? So I'm glad, because I was like, well, I don't know, maybe he won't like it, but the last like 4 or 5 days, every time I get on Steam, he's on there playing. I'm like, yeah, it was a good gift. So I picked the right person. I knew he would enjoy it. And so anyway, he's gonna help me. It's so funny because Seth and I have been playing, and we tried a couple different scenarios, and one of them is this lone survivor scenario. And I made it, but it was just so boring and bad because we just didn't know what we were doing. It was mostly just us fumbling around. So I told Jared about it. He came and visited our server and was like, oh yeah, this is cool. And so now I'm talking to him yesterday, and he's like, oh yeah, well, I upgraded the reactor and I upgraded the assembler, and I've gone through and I've made some improvements, and I created an ore ship, and I built like a refinery for this type of material, and I built these. Oh, and he's like, I have a vented space station now where you can go on there and breathe, and I've created an airlock system where. And I'm like, I figured out how to land on the planet without crashing and dying. So you can tell the game's totally up his alley, and it's one of those games that's just going to take some serious time. And what's up, Peary? What? You can't right now. I've got a video producing on that computer, honey. And then I have to upload it, so it's going to be like hours before it's ready to play. Sorry, honey. All right. Can I have some too? I'm hungry. Okay, cool. Whoa, that's a lot of pizza rolls. That's like 500.